What's up YouTube? I'm back, and today I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order for the second time. I'm really excited to show you this, and I hope you enjoy it. I found this big temple, but it turns out that the Empire was already here. So like one does, I decided to play a game of Wii Baseball with these stormtroopers being the ball and my blood red lightsaber being the bat. I then meditated on the killing, climbed some shrubbery, and played with some really powerful magnets. The Empire heard about my harmless game of baseball, and they sent a purge trooper in order to take me out. What they didn't count on was that he only had a King Tower level 3, while I had a King Tower level 6, so I took him out without too much difficulty. I then showed this flame trooper the dangers of not using personal fall protection while standing near an unguarded ledge. I continued on my journey, but I found some vines blocking my way. I could have found another way around, but that would take effort, so I did the safe thing and played with fire. I did some sick jumps, and I eventually found another purge trooper who was pretending to be a competent fighter. He was a pretty good pretender, and I took him out without getting hit once. I then found a coffin that was hanging midair and decided to claim it as my own. That upset the Empire, and they shot the supports holding it up. I almost lost my lightsaber, however I decided to learn Force Pull at the most perfect time, so everything was okay. My new ability led me to do even more cool things, like harming the environment and causing stormtroopers to have unnecessary painful deaths. I'm not exactly sure how to describe what's happening on screen, but I wanted to share it with you guys. I then used a probe droid as a grenade against some stormtroopers. The Empire didn't find this as amusing as I did, and they decided to Uno reverse card me. I consider myself to be an epic gamer, and in order to prove this, I decided to spend the next 10 minutes trying to complete this part. I was eventually able to beat it after I snorted enough caffeine to kill an entire animal shelter's worth of cats. I killed some weird dog things and found a trapped mountain goat. Me being the environmentalist I am, decided to free it. That went about as well as you can expect. I then burned some overgrown vines and collected this blue orb. I didn't feel as if I had done enough property damage yet, so I destroyed this chandelier and I got in this elevator. BD1 then showed me an old recording of some boomer who told me about my next objective. I started back to my ship, and along the way I got bored and decided to do a harmless prank. I called up the Bounty Hunters Guild and asked them if they have seen a dragon lately. They asked what I meant, and I told them dragging these nuts across your face. They took the joke pretty well. I awoke in a dark room, cold, sore, and with a swollen butthole. I switched the HDMI cable and I escaped from my prison cell. I then rescue my droid and ride an elevator that takes me into this arena. This guy peer pressures me into fighting in this arena, and in order not to look weak in front of everyone watching, I do. I kill giant frogs, fireflies, acid-shooting spiders, gigantic spiders, and even a wannabe Boba Fett. My ship eventually arrives, and we get out of there faster than the time we TP'd Darth Vader's beach house. Once we escape, I get mad at Bangladesh for not telling me all of her most personal and deepest secrets. I'm interrupted as a call from Kashyyyk comes in. This rebel tells me that the Wookiee chieftain Tarful is willing to meet with me. She also says some unimportant stuff, like how the Empire has overrun their position and slaughtered their forces, and I pretend like I care. Bangladesh suggested going to Zepho, however I quickly disregarded that suggestion and went straight to the Wookiee homeworld. Once there, I had an intelligent conversation with Chewbacca's brother-in-law, and set off to find Tarful. I collected another glowing orb, killed a Discord moderator, and I found an Imperial refinery. In order to show my generosity, I gave all the factory workers inside the day off. I walked on a tightrope and I found some rocket troopers who were being really annoying. They got what happens to all that annoy me, a painful death. I then rode on a zipline and swam in a leech-infested lake. I found some new doormats and got 7 unknown diseases the second I touched this dirty water. I jumped on some bounce pads from Fortnite and found Tarful. He told me to look at the top of the origin tree, and so I set off to do that. He also gave me his old rebreather, and in order not to be rude, I took it. I fought through enemy after enemy. Human, non-human, bipedal, octopedal, I think that's a word, no legs, and more. I found a new purge trooper. This one was a gravity hammer from Halo. Once he was dealt with, this Inquisitor said some words to me, then shot me with her ship. A couple of waterless slides later and one cannonball, I found Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, and Tobey Maguire. I made a joke about trilogies. Holland and Maguire laughed. However, the joke upset Andrew and he proceeded to take a chomp out of my neck. I learned how to do a flip and got attacked by some bats. Luckily, they forgot that they can fly, so I took them out easily. I then found an injured, endangered bird, so I approached, preparing to kill it and sell its feathers on the black market. I asked for the lethal injector. However, BD1 stupidly gave me a stim, and I saved the bird instead of killing it. On the bright side, it did give me a free ride up to the top as a thank you. Once at the top, I jumped in the circle arena and the ninth sister killed the big bird. I was outraged at that. I mean, granted, I was going to do the same exact thing not even 10 minutes ago, but still, I was outraged. I used my anger like any good Sith would. I did some cool lightsaber strikes, a cool flip, and of course, the classic force push off of a 30,000 foot high tree. I then hiked all the way back to my ship. Once there, we had a nice dinner, and we set off to Dathomir to get the artifact needed for the tomb on Bogano. Bangladesh wanted to have a chat, however I did not care, so I set off on my adventure. Some Night Brothers tried to stop me, and while they might have succeeded the last time we met, my powers have doubled since then, and I dispatched them easily. This guy then tried to crush me with a boulder, however he's trash at the game and he misses. After a bit of exploration, I find a lady who's lacking vitamin D, and she sends some weak minions after me. I take them out without breaking a sweat, and find some Night Brothers just vibing at a campfire. I get mad that they didn't include me, and I handle the rejection pretty well. I eventually found an area where the Night Sister said this.
Only death awaits you here.
So I immediately ventured further. I was trying to search this body for some spare chug jugs when this owl with acne interrupted me. He had the power to create whirlwinds and create shockwaves, but I had a laser sword, and once I kicked his butt enough, he ran off to his mommy. After I finished embarrassing that guy, I got some Gucci gloves, and when I went to go test them out, the owl came back for round 2. We did some flying, some skydiving, and of course, the best part, some crashing. Once I finished with that loser, I then proceeded to spend the next 15 minutes aimlessly wandering around looking for where I needed to go. I eventually found a Night Brother village, and Cal suggested going in stealthily. I, of course, didn't do this, and I murdered everyone in that village in cold blood. After failing the easiest jump ever, I made my way back to the surface and towards the ruins. While on my way towards the temple, I find a Nidak Alpha. The fight was tough, however I win because of the fact that I am a Sigma male. We continue exploring this way, and eventually find this yellow Minecraft chest that gives me a third stim. I enter the ruins and place my hand on this wall. I then decide to meditate on all this wall touching. My meditation transports me back to my Padawan days. I pass some clone troopers and I find myself in this large room. My master wants me to do parkour to get to him. I fail repeatedly, and he gets so mad that he kills this innocent clone trooper. The clones were understandably upset about this, so we split up to make our way towards the escape pods. I make my way through the vents like the imposter from Among Us, and I eventually find this big room. These clones caused me to lose my lightsaber, and almost my life, but Gerald DePaul Spartan kicks him into the abyss and saves me. We eventually get to the escape pods, and while we're trying to escape, Gerald DePaul gets shot, and because he's not very good at the game, dies. I then see a vision of him. He proceeds to break my lightsaber for no reason other than for his personal enjoyment. I leave the temple, and Marin, the Night Sister from earlier, sends her goons after me. Since I was lightsaberless, I ran. I ran like McDonald's had finally fixed their ice cream machine. I ran like it was Black Friday, and I had the last Samsung smart fridge. I get to my ship, and we leave quickly. Bangladesh can tell that I'm upset, so she takes the opportunity to make it all about her and tell me about her past. I get bored almost immediately, and we go to Ilum so I can get a lightsaber crystal. I brave through the elements, and I explore this cave complex. I see my crystal in the distance, and while I make my way towards it, I decide to do the ice bucket challenge to the extreme. I get out of the water and decide to move at less than half a mile per hour towards the kyber crystal. I almost die of old age, however I finally get to it. I then proceed to break the crystal after not even having it for 3 seconds. I'm a bit discouraged, but then I remember that there's an entire galaxy of individuals who I haven't slaughtered yet, and that gives me the inspiration to keep moving. With chewing gum, duct tape, and the futuristic blowtorch, I make myself 2 new lightsabers. I proceed to test these out on some scout troopers, as well as this room full of deadly robots. I then killed a bunch of Imperial recruits. I'm pretty sure that they were recruits, considering how bad they were fighting. These 2 ATSDs were waiting outside for me. I dispatched them quickly and immediately insulted my crewmates once I was back on my ship.
Dead. The Order's hopes rest on a gambler, a fallen Jedi, and a failed Padawan. A bunch of screw-ups.
We then headed to Dathomir. Grease tried talking to me, so I instantly walked away. I then came back to give him the belief that I was going to talk to him, and then walked away a second time. I made my way back to the temple, and I put my hand on the wall again. My master appeared, and this time, instead of attacking him with my lightsaber, I attacked him by being a kiss-up. The wall raised, and after venturing inside, I found Marin. We played catch with my lightsaber, and I set off to fight Malicos. I was a bit worried about this fight. However, I demolished him like he was a basket of Red Robin's bottomless fries. He did almost crush me with a boulder. However, Marin decided to stop sitting on her butt, doing nothing, and help me. We showed him how cool the ground was, and I acquired the Astrium. Marin wanted to join me, and since bullying Bangladesh and Greece was getting boring, I let her. With the Astrium in hand, and another person to bully, I set off to my ship. This bounty hunter was waiting for me outside the temple. However, he was so bad at the game that he probably had a 0.3 kill-death ratio. I got back to my ship for the 1100th time this video, and was happy to see that my crewmates approved of Marin.
Who's this? She's a witch, isn't she?
We'll have to earn it.
Unfortunately for them, I couldn't care less if I tried. I went to the temple on Bogano, and I looked at myself in this mirror. It showed me an alternate reality, and I tried to go Anakin on these younglings, however this game hates fun. It then showed me a reality where I would be a lowly Inquisitor instead of a prestigious Sith Lord. I was so terrified of what I saw that I destroyed the magic mirror. The second sister saw me rage at the mirror, and in order to make sure that there were no witnesses, I attacked her. I grabbed her lightsaber, but it must have been made out of urmamium, because it was so heavy that I could barely move. And as a result, Trilla escaped with the holocron. We chased after her, however this Star Destroyer was blocking our way. However, Marin activated active camo, and we slipped past them without incident. Once inside the fortress, I murdered dozens of useless troops, set off a bomb in the Inquisitor gift shop, and I opened this window. I then made my way into this room, where I increased my kill count by even more. No matter how many troops I slaughtered, they just kept on coming. I finally found the second sister, and I used less than 1% of my strength and defeated her. I was preparing to finish her off, but Darth Vader showed up and stole my kill. Turns out, he wasn't too happy about me TPing his house, so I got out of there as quickly as I could. He was pretty mad about his health, and he just wouldn't give up. He eventually cornered me in Bangladesh, and in order to escape, I rolled down the car windows and I escaped through the ocean. Once I was back on my ship, I debated on what to do with the holocron. I spent countless hours trying to get that thing, and killed thousands of inferior beings in order to acquire it. So I destroyed it, since the real prize was the friends we made along the way. Thank you all for watching. I know this video was longer than usual, but I really wanted to finish this game, and I couldn't have done that in a third video. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like to show your support. And if you like my content, you should subscribe, so you can always see whenever I upload. God bless, hope to see you in the next video.